YouTube, hey there, Casey Dim and TaxSaleAcademy.com. Thank you so much for joining me today as I record this episode for the Tax Sale Podcast. If you enjoy listening to podcasts, make sure you click that link down below. It'll take you to TaxSalePodcast.com. You can download us on your favorite podcasting platform and you can listen on the go. But if a video is more of your style, that's perfectly fine with me. Just make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and also click that thumbs up button for us. Let's go ahead and switch on over to the audio portion right now. Welcome to the Tax Sale Podcast, where tax sale investing is made easy. My name is Casey Dim, and I'm a tax sale veteran, the author of the Tax Sale Playbook, founder of the Tax Sale Academy, the leading tax sale expert and trainer, and I am your host right here on the Tax Sale Podcast. Thank you so much for joining me on today's podcast. This podcast is provided completely free to help teach you about tax sale investing. It is made possible because of the Tax Sale Academy. If you're looking to learn about tax-defaulted real estate in a comprehensive step-by-step basis, then head to TaxSaleAcademy.com, click on Join, and become a member of our academy. Again, that's TaxSaleAcademy.com, and click on Join. On today's episode, we are talking about efficiency. Now, we're going to get into 5 tips to become a more efficient tax sale investor. But before we do, I really want to emphasize the importance of this. Sure, the learning process, it's entertaining for many people. Hearing success stories can be motivational. Getting involved yourself is just incredible to me. But efficiency, that's the game changer for the successful tax sale investors. Truthfully, to grow your business, once you have all the basics down, there is nothing more important than learning how to be efficient. Tax sale investing, it's a numbers game. You will more than likely not be able to look at just one tax sale list, find one tax sale property, go to one tax sale auction, and then buy that property and make millions of dollars, right? The odds are that you'll have to research many properties. You'll need to attend a few auctions, and you'll need to place a number of bids or offers on these properties. Then you need to be able to sell these properties in a manner where you can make money. But you can't be so consumed with the selling process because you also need to have time to research more properties, attend more auctions, and buy more tax-defaulted real estate so you have a never-ending pipeline of profitable deals. So here's what an active year looks like for me. I'll research tens of thousands of properties in numerous counties and numerous states. I'll attend 100 different auctions. I'll bid on thousands of properties, walk away with quite a few of those that are sold relatively painlessly, only to do it over and over again, hopefully with more intensity and more quantity. That way I can grow my business. And the deal is that you don't need a team of 20 people to do this. You don't need to have a staff full of attorneys, MBAs, and experts to pull this off. You can do it. You can probably do it without much help once you learn how to do it, once you learn the basics behind tax sale investing. But you just have to be efficient. There is no way that you'll make it in this business long term unless you learn efficiency. So I'm going to go over 5 keys to being efficient in this business in today's episode. If you nail these down, your chances of success suddenly skyrockets. Now, full disclosure, as a beginner, all this will be extremely difficult to be efficient at. But that's okay, as long as you keep these in the back of your mind. Understand that efficiency will come as long as you are consciously working towards it as you learn this business. The first step is simply to know what you're doing. That's very important in order to be efficient, right? You're going to fine-tune this with time, but initially, you should research every related law, review the process, read the frequently asked questions page, study the county's websites when it relates to tax sale investing. Go to an auction just to watch, ask questions, find mentors, do everything that you can to learn about tax sale investing. Join the Tax Sale Academy, for example. All this stuff will help you learn how the process works. Subsequently, you'll learn what to look out for, which is going to help you in the other steps that we're going to be discussing when it comes to learning how to be efficient. If you're not familiar with your area's laws, for example, how they handle properties in disrepair, you'll either A, run into an issue where it costs you thousands and thousands of dollars, or B, you'll spend unnecessary time researching that issue every single time that you come across it. Learn what you're doing, and it's going to make your life a lot easier and your business a lot more efficient. The next step is to learn how to be an efficient researcher. So important. Odds are that you'll be researching a lot of properties. And this research needs to be 100% accurate. It has to be spot on. Your research equals your results. But you can't spend hours and hours and hours on every single property. To be as efficient as possible, you're going to want to spend no more than 20 or 30 seconds on the properties that you don't want. Then if you find a property that you're planning on bidding on, obviously invest as much time as required in order to fully understand and learn about that property. But don't spend 20 minutes researching every single property that you're going to mark off your list. If you do, you'll never ever be able to get through all the properties in time to attend the auction. You'll be doing it for days and days and days, and you'll never go to that auction. Now, obviously, there are plenty of ways to do this in an efficient manner. My suggestion, number one, is to know your area. Inside and out. Know the values. This can really help you be so efficient in your business. You should be able to know the areas that you do and don't want to invest in simply by looking at the legal description, which is going to be on that tax sale list. So right away you can cross through those. This requires that you know where those certain subdivisions are. It's also important to learn how to read legal descriptions so you aren't buying a 1-foot strip of land, for example. You should be able to filter through many properties simply by looking at that tax sale list. From there, the ones that make it through, then you go to the property appraisers list. You're going to filter through quite a few more. Then the remaining few can be filtered through with some slightly deeper research, leaving behind only the best properties that you'll want to bid on. Now, developing a process for this is so incredibly important. I have a video on this that is called my Fly on the Wall training program. And basically, you're sitting like a fly on my wall as I research properties. You're watching my computer screen, learning my process as I narrate every single step. Now, that's available inside the Tax Sale Academy, but it details the process that I use, which has become very, very efficient over the years. Now, while you might not use that same exact process, that's okay. Just develop a smooth, accurate, and most importantly, efficient process for your tax sale research. Attending auctions efficiently is the next step to being an efficient tax sale investor. And this is obviously the one that's probably going to be the most difficult to make efficient, right? It's hard to be efficient when you're sitting at an auction all day long. I get that. I completely understand it. But there are a couple of things that you can do to help you learn how to be efficient at the auction itself. First of all, if it's an online auction, you already have a leg up, right? You can log in, watch the auction on your computer screen, perhaps even doing research for another auction or attending multiple auctions at the same time on one computer screen, right? I've done that many a times. I've actually got a photo in the Tax Sale Playbook of me sitting in the lobby of Ramada Inn at a 1970s Pac-Man arcade game with my laptop on top of that arcade game. And what I'm doing is I just walked out of the conference room, that auction just ended, opened up my laptop and attended another auction right there that was online. So I attended 2 auctions within a matter of minutes, right? So there's always ways to attend multiple auctions in an efficient manner. Obviously, time management is always going to be something to keep in the back of your mind. Another idea is to use proxy bids if they're offered, so you don't necessarily have to be there live. Even if it's online, you don't have to be there to punch the bid button. One thing I advise doing is really taking an honest approach with yourself. If there's an auction that has 500 properties that they're trying to sell, and you only want one of those properties, and you think you'll be able to make, I don't know, $300-400 off of it, is it really worth your time sitting in that room all day long, waiting on every single other property to get auctioned off? Perhaps it is, perhaps it's not. That's a decision that you have to make. Or is it worth traveling across the country to buy a property potentially and profit maybe $1,000 or $2,000 or something fairly minimal that might not even cover your travel expenses and certainly wouldn't cover your time? My suggestion is to make sure that you study the previous auction results and have an idea about the competition before that auction begins. There is no doubt in my mind that you're going to sit at an auction sooner or later and not win a single property. It'll actually probably happen the majority of the auctions that you attend, and that's okay. If you mitigate this time as much as possible and use it as an opportunity to learn, then in my book, you're doing it efficiently. The next level of efficiency comes when you are selling. Now, there are so many different approaches to selling that it can be mind-boggling at times. But what you must understand is that you can't commit your entire life to selling just one property, right? You can't hold an open house every single day until you sell that house. If you do, you'll always be playing a game of catch-up. Instead, you should develop an easy-to-follow and nearly guaranteed selling strategy. When you're ready to sell your property, there shouldn't be a guessing game as far as the amount that you're going to sell for, how long it's going to take to sell it, how you'll market it. All this stuff should be predetermined. You should have it really dialed in to have all this information ahead of time that we can sell that property as quickly as possible. Now, obviously, There's going to be times where you need to adjust on the fly. That's understandable. But in the perfect world, if you're able to do something, say, as easy and quickly as simply sending an email, which allows you to sell the property like that and then move on, that's your best case scenario. That's the most efficient manner to sell that property. Again, develop the process that streamlines this for you. Follow it, tweak it to make it better every single time, and do it all over again. The last thing that you must be efficient in is the act of growing your business. And this is a lot simpler than you might think. Perhaps it's time to expand market areas. What is your specific process for expanding market areas? Maybe it's learn the laws, learn the county process, review previous auction results, review auction lists, review the different areas, attend the auction, whatever your process is, have one, okay? Another step to growing your business is your reinvestment strategy. What's the process behind that? You can't pull every dime out of your business. Otherwise, you're going to be broke every single time and have to restart your business every single time you want to make an investment. Instead, maybe you plan to pull out just 20% of the net profits until a certain time where you meet like a threshold, right? Whatever it is, it doesn't matter to me. Just have some sort of process. Develop a plan that you can follow that helps dictate this stuff ahead of time. That way you'll be as efficient as possible. Again, you should not be flying by the seat of your pants trying to figure it out as you go. Have a plan on how you're going to grow ahead of time. Again, things change, but you need at the very least some sort of plan or compass to point you in the right direction in order to grow your business efficiently. I cannot begin to tell you how important efficiency is in this business. So many people think that real estate is where you look at a few deals, you pick one, you invest, and you move on. And maybe that is for some people. But tax sale investing, it's different than traditional real estate investing. It is a numbers game. And there's a fine balance between being accurate in what you're doing and being efficient. And you must conquer that balancing act in order to be successful in this business. Now, as I stated at the beginning of this episode, always be conscious of how efficient you're operating and how you can improve. Every single time you need to reevaluate yourself. How can I do it more efficiently? The 5 primary points of efficiency revolve around your understanding of the process, the research process itself, which is a huge one, the auction process, the selling process, and the growing process. Understand, you must have processes in place for all of this stuff, and those processes must be efficient. So instead of just going through the motion and doing what you have to do for the sake of doing it, always be aware of exactly what you're doing as you navigate through each one of these steps and continually work to be as efficient as possible. Again, it is a requirement in this business. Guys, that's it for today. If you're interested in leveraging our years and years of experience in this business and you want to learn how we operate as efficiently as possible, as well as our students, just head on over to taxsaleacademy.com, click on that join button, and become a member of our academy, where we'll show you the step-by-step process that you need for the desired tax sale success that you have. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode. And as always, guys, these episodes are completely free. In exchange, we absolutely appreciate you taking the time out of your day to subscribe to our podcast. And we ask that you leave a 5-star rating and perhaps some positive feedback as well. Take care, guys, and make it a successful day. Bye-bye.